Welcome to the Marriage Game Plan Podcast, where we help couples build healthy relationships through faith, love, and strategy. I'm George.
And I'm Tandra, and we are so glad you're here.
For over 15 years, we've been helping coach couples from NFL locker rooms to everyday living rooms on how to win in marriage, not just survive.
Whether you're newlyweds, seasoned teammates, or somewhere in between, this podcast is your bi-monthly huddle for real talk, practical plays, and fresh game plans to help you win your home game.
And if you're single and hoping to be married one day, this is your podcast for practical insights and tools to help you enter into marriage with clarity, confidence, and purpose.
So grab your spouse or just your headphones.
And let's build a championship level marriage together. Hey, welcome back to the Marriage Game Plan Podcast.
We missed you.
That's right. We missed you guys. And I really wanted to start this episode by, you remember how Martin Lawrence used to say, what up, what up, what up?
Oh my goodness. Love Martin.
Always wanted to do that.
Yeah.
But listen, I was driving here this morning and there was this song on the radio that says, it's a lovely day, right? You remember that song?
Oh yeah, I
When I
love that.
wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we want to tell you it's going to be a lovely day,
Yes.
not only in your car, but in your home as well. And
Yes.
today's episode, man, I'm excited because it's one of our staple episodes that we
Yes.
love to talk about. And today we're talking about a conversation about winning the home game,
Yes,
right? And it's
yes.
not just enough to win in your away game. Now, in the away game, what we're talking about is your career. We're talking about your extracurricular activities. Maybe it's your sports or maybe it's your hobbies, whatever that is, that's your away game, but you must win in your home game. So don't neglect the home game because you want to win the away game.
So good, George. That is so good. The home game is even more important than the away game because the home game is where our legacy
That's right.
will live on from generation to generation.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's so good.
And when we think about that, right, like when you say that generation to generation, right,
Yes.
that means that what I'm putting in my home life has a greater impact than probably what I do on my job. Because let's face it, when we retire or
Yes.
when we no longer can work, what are they going to do?
They're going to replace
They're
us.
going to replace us.
Absolutely.
That's right.
That just reminds me of that New York City, that CEO of
Sure.
the insurance company last year or a year before, he got killed that morning. And then by the end of that day, they had already replaced him, while his family is still grieving. So because people are so replaceable,
Right.
the only place where you're not replaceable is in your family, in your kids' lives,
good.
and in your spouse. So that is why your home game is so important to your legacy. So in order to win the home game, we have to make our spouse our priority. They have to be number one. After God, your spouse comes next. And that's
Yeah.
very important.
No, it is very important, right? Because sometimes I think we think that marriage or having a relationship is our idea.
Right,
We
right.
think, man, we made this up or we can make up our own rules.
Yeah.
In reality, if you're out there listening today, marriage is not your idea. It's God's idea. He made marriage, and we've got to go back to the designer, the originator, and ask him, why did you design it, and what plays, like a coach, what plays
Yes.
do I run? If I'm going to win my home game, what plays do I need to run, coach, in order to win the home game, right? And when we look at marriage, we like to say this terminology, and I love when you say it.
Yes.
Go ahead and say it. Marriage is what?
Marriage is God's best selfie because in our marriage, we are to reflect God's image to the world around us. And living in a selfie generation
Right.
where we're obsessed with our best image of ourselves that's worthy enough to be posted online. We have to remember that we are an image of God and it needs to be reflected in his true nature
Sure.
and character. Now, I'm no good with selfies though, because my arms are way too short. I have to use two hands. I don't even know how people do selfies.
We call it T-Rex selfies like that.
Yes.
Now remember, everybody, I'm laughing with her and not at her. So don't judge me. Don't comment and write in. Give me nasty mail. All right. So but a part of that though is when we understand we're made in God's image, and if Mary marriage is God's best selfie.
Yes.
Sometimes when we try to do it in our own strength,
Yeah.
we're not going to make a best selfie,
Right.
because we often mess up what God wants to perfect. Sometimes
Yeah.
in our marriages, we just don't get it right, and that's okay. We're only human.
That's right.
Right? We make mistakes, but
Yeah.
God has a redemptive plan.
Yes.
So if you're married and you're realizing now that your marriage or our being is made in His image, and because there are two people coming together as one, your marriage now reflects who God is. Instead of trying to make up our own thing, let's go back to the blueprint in which God gave us, because that's how we can win
Yeah.
the home game.
Yeah, and that's so countercultural, right? Reflecting God's image, not knowing that God has a plan for marriage because He created marriage.
Sure.
That He might know how we're supposed to get the most benefit and
Yeah.
optimal, out of our relationships.
Sure.
Or what is that relationship supposed to do for us? Because in our society today, we feel like marriage is our idea. As a society, we think, oh, marriage is, I choose, I'm pursuing it for my happiness. It's
Right.
about my needs.
Sure.
It's about who helps me live my best life, who has the most money. It's all about self-focus,
Sure.
not realizing that God has plans and purposes, and the happiness, true happiness, can only come by fulfilling the purposes and plans
Sure.
God has for us.
Sure.
So they're trying to skip all that other stuff and get straight to the
Right.
happiness.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then a lot of times when people aren't happy anymore, then they keep looking for happiness on to the next thing,
That's right. Yeah, yeah. In fact, in chapter 2 of our book, The Marriage Game
Yeah.
Plan, we talk about the 4 ways in which God, at least 4 ways in which God created marriage. And if you want to go get that book, check it out. Chapter 2 is a phenomenal chapter.
That's right. Yes. Because we live in a fast-paced lifestyle, this is an important topic, because what happens in the everyday shuffle, the marriage keeps getting pushed to the back burner.
Sure.
Everything else takes precedence. Everything else is
Right.
seems to be more important
Yeah, it's like the
than
tyranny,
our spouse. Yeah.
tyranny of the urgent, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And if we always let stuff come in before our marriage, right? Like let's say, man, pick up the dry cleaners. Oh, we gotta work. We gotta do our extracurricular activities. We gotta take the kids everywhere. I mean,
Yeah.
I know so many parents.
Yeah.
Although they love each other, man, the kids and their soccer schedule and their baseball schedule. It's like kids are doing so much these
They
days.
are,
But if we
George.
let all of that come and make us more busy, that we don't focus or prioritize our marriage,
Yeah.
then we might be in a tough spot one day.
Absolutely. And I think cell phones and social media have added a whole nother aspect of busyness too,
Sure.
because even when you're home, you're
not
on
home,
you're
right?
not
Yeah.
home.
Yeah.
Like it's when we used to work 9 to 5s, we had boundaries set.
Right.
You go to work at 9, you come home at 5, and then you shift into your home life. I remember working my 9 to 5, and every day I said, when I get to this bridge, I shift from thinking about work and I focus on my family, what I'm having for dinner. And I had this specific spot that said, think about the day, think
Wow.
about work. And then that bridge meant shift.
I wish you would have told me that, because I couldn't, as a busy pastor,
Yeah.
especially in New York City. I mean, I was like work, and
Yeah.
we probably fell into some of that. And I know we're going to get into that,
Yeah.
but I think the key really is what we're saying
Yeah.
is intentionality. The key is intentionality. Don't let the tyranny of the urgent allow you not to prioritize your marriage, your wife, your husband, your spouse, the one that you said we want to win together. Don't
Yeah.
let things come in where you don't make that a priority, right?
Yeah. Speaking of, when we lived in New York City, our lives became so super busy that I feel like we were like ships passing in the night, because I was in private practice and I had to go in, see clients when they
Sure.
were off work,
That's right.
after work. And then you would as
I
a
had
pastor,
to, I
you
had to
work
get
during
home,
the day.
but I had to get home with those kids because
Yeah.
you were gone at night
So
working with the average work person schedule, right? Which was,
exactly.
they were less busy at night.
That's right. So we were tag teaming. We would see each other in the hallway and just be like, okay, see ya.
But I got
And
to tell you, every time I saw you, I was like, whoop, there it is. My goodness.
I love that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's easy for busy families to miss each other, and it's easy for that relationship, that gap to subtly
Sure.
show up, right? It's
Yeah.
easy for that gap to happen if you're not intentional.
Right, and that's what we're talking about,
Yeah.
being intentional. In fact, I remember there was a season, maybe about a year, where you kept asking me, like, "What's wrong with you?"
Yeah.
Right? I was home, but I wasn't present.
Yeah.
I would be at the dinner table and I would be kind of looking into space, and that's because you remember the burnout.
Oh yes, I remember that burnout. How can I ever
Like
forget
that was
that?
not a fun
No.
season because I was focusing more on the machine of ministry.
Yes, yes.
Right. See, some pastors, they don't realize this, that ministry can become
Yeah.
a machine. It could be something like a production line. And you're just always production, production, production. And
Yeah.
unless you're delighting in God, unless you're prioritizing your family, then ministry can be work, and not necessarily is it your delight, your honor to
Yes.
please your king, right?
That's right. That's right.
And so what
Amen.
I went with the mentality was probably just like a lot of business owners, a lot of CEOs, doctors, is I tried to go to New York City and outwork the work capital of the world.
Yes.
But I realized this, you cannot outwork the work capital of the world. And so whatever I was doing, even for ministry, or maybe you're in your business, maybe it's on Wall Street, or maybe it's running or managing a company, whatever it is. I ran ministry, but whatever you run, don't let it run you. You can prioritize, you can set boundaries in your marriage, that you can be home when you need to be home, or be present when you need to be present. Because I found myself,
Yeah.
although I was home, I was not available for you
Yes.
guys. And
Yeah.
just the mental, the emotional
Yes.
angst that I was going through, I was not probably the best husband at that time,
Yeah.
or the best father.
Yeah. And it was you weren't by yourself. I wasn't even aware of the toll that it was
Yeah.
taking on you, because I was so preoccupied in my busyness.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't checking for you. You weren't checking for me. We were just in our parallel lanes,
That's right.
just trying to grind it out, you know?
I think what you're trying to tell everybody is you're no slouch, right? I was in New York City trying to take over the world, and you were building a private practice
And raising my kids in the concrete
in
jungle.
the concrete jungle. But I wanted to say that part, right? Is
Yes.
you had your own private counseling practice
Yes.
in the middle of I call it the crazies in Times Square. Is that such busy lifestyle down in that area, but you were helping to really change and transform people's lives just by listening and encouraging, coaching. And so
Yeah,
you were
absolutely.
doing it. And I think where we're going is all this have to be a balance.
That's
right.
right.
Some of us, we overdo it in our careers because we think, oh man, especially men, we want to conquer something,
Yeah.
we want to build something. And so if we're solely focused on that, then we can lose sight of maybe what other things should be a priority as well. So the key today, if you're out there listening, the key today is balance. You can't do everything
Yes.
at the same level. Some things have to be prioritized over other things, and especially the things that matter the most.
Yeah. Well, right before we change courses here, I do want to even highlight that God is a part of this. I remember coming back from your sabbatical after getting burned out.
What's a sabbatical? Just tell
A
everybody.
sabbatical is where you take an extended amount of time off just so you can be refreshed in the Lord and restored. So
Yeah.
you take a significant amount of time
I
off.
took the entire summer
the
off.
entire summer off. And the funny thing is, when we came back,
Yeah.
the church actually doubled in size.
Double.
And so
Hurt my feelings,
I
by
know.
the way, because I was like, the church can't grow without me.
Exactly.
But maybe I was in the way.
Yes. And so we can't take God out of the picture.
Right.
Like if he has called you to your career or your profession, he put you there.
Right.
He is going to allow you to be productive, and you can't take him out of the picture by saying, I got this, God. You sit on the back burner and I'm going to grind this out for you to the
Right.
glory of God.
Right.
And I'll let you know when you can tap in. Is you got to know that God is in control. He is sovereign. He has a plan for your life. And you have to just trust, if you put his business first, he's going to accelerate or prosper your
Yeah, you
business
know that's the
that he's
scripture,
called.
right? It
Go
says,
ahead.
when we seek ye first the kingdom of heaven and his righteousness,
Yes.
right? Then he'll add all those other things
Yes.
to us, right?
That's
So
it.
let's talk
That's it.
about the dangers of not making your marriage a priority.
Yeah. So if we don't put our spouse as a priority, what happens then, right? What happens when we focus on all these other things? Then things will come in to take the place, right, of your spouse.
I'm
If they're-
loving this because we've got 3 real life
Yes.
examples, right? And I know this. Sometimes when you tell me, like if a mentor tells me something, I'm kind of like, okay, you told me, but it's a real life experience of others or that I have to go through in which I really learn.
Yes, if you know George and I at all, we love our court TV. That's how we learn the law. And
That's right.
I think I have a YouTube law degree after watching all these judge shows. But Judge Mathis is everybody's uncle, you know, and we love him.
We love him.
And so I caught a social media clip by TMZ
Sure.
about Judge Mathis' wife, after 39 years, filed for divorce. And so
Sad.
they were asking Judge Mathis, well, what happened? Because they thought surely there's been infidelity or he's done
Right.
something terrible for after 39 years that she would leave. And here's what Judge Mathis said, just to clear the air and the
Clear
gossip.
that, clear.
He says, let me be a cautionary tale for men. When you neglect your wife, here's what can happen. For 39 years, my wife was third. I've been serving the community. I've been taping my shows, and I've been having fun with my friends. So his wisdom after 39
Yeah.
years and his wife filing for divorce, he says, never be too busy. Never have too much fun beyond your wife. I should have stayed home more and made my wife more of a priority. He says, I'm trying to get my wife back, but I have to show her that in my actions, not just my words.
Wow.
So that was like, whoa. Judge Mathis, who is just as busy as anyone else, just as successful as anyone else in this world, and he is learning a valuable lesson at his ripe old age, which is none of this is important if you lose your partner
Right.
that you wanted to do life
Sure.
with. It's
And
like
that's
you
a-
left them behind.
Yeah, and that's why we're talking about just prioritizing. We're not saying you can't work or you can't go out and make money or build a business. What we're saying is be balanced with
Yes,
it, right?
yeah.
And sometimes life lessons will teach us. And so maybe you're out there today and you're saying, man, I'm building this corporation, I'm building this company or this church. And don't be like Judge Mathis. We're not picking at Judge Mathis. We're saying let Unc be our example.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what we're saying is don't go out and just have fun after work, or don't go out and just, travel and build the empire without understanding that there's a king or a queen at home waiting for you to build a life and legacy and that will last from generation
Yeah.
to generation. Right?
And so I feel like this example is just the natural outcome of the emotional drift that
Yeah.
can happen.
Yeah,
You
emotional drift.
Yes,
Talk
it's an
to me.
emotional drift that happens. His wife starts to feel very disconnected from
Yeah.
him and not prioritize, and then you feel like you're roommates and not teammates.
Sure.
And so after some years of that, sometimes we really don't have any feelings
Right.
for our spouse.
Yeah.
We've done life independently.
Sure.
You have to find your own way at that point, and so you just stop being in relationship.
Yeah, yeah. It
you know?
reminds me of conversations that I have with our NFL players, right, in those locker rooms.
Yeah.
That if the statistic is correct,
Yeah.
which 70% of NFL marriages end in divorce, it doesn't start off that way,
Yeah.
right? All those players start off to win in their marriage,
Right.
but there's something that happens slowly over time, especially
Yeah.
if you wait until after retirement
Mm-hmm.
to pour into your marriage. Sometimes you realize, man, the friendship is not there
Yeah.
anymore. The emotional
Yeah.
connection is
Yeah.
not there. And so these things, they don't happen all at once. They happen over time, and you never know when that time clock is running out. And so we just say,
Right.
prioritize your marriage, and maybe start today by going home and asking your spouse, do you feel like you're my priority? Do you feel like the kids in this family are my priority? Sure, I go out and make money. Sure, I bring home the bread. But are you feeling like I am present enough in this house? And so we've got another example,
Yes,
right? And
yes.
this is one of our bishops, right? Bishop
Yes.
T.D. Jakes.
Yeah.
And he was we called him on a YouTube
Yeah.
interview.
Yeah.
And I think he was with his wife.
Yes,
But he
yes,
was
yes.
talking about discussing how to be successful at home. And here's what came out of Bishop Jake's mouth,
Yeah.
right? He says, we are not winning at home. Now that's a sober statement.
Yes.
When a pastor says, we're not winning at home. He says this, he says, we're making the money, we're climbing the corporate ladder, we're in the C-suites, we're doing, we're making it big. But he says, however, it's hard to be in a stable relationship, whether it's marriage. Now, this is my part, whether it's married or dating. It's hard to be in a serious relationship while you go after your dreams. Here's why. Because everyone wants more of you, and you don't always have enough to go around. And that's what I'm talking about, like
Yeah.
the tyranny of the urgent.
Yeah.
I remember when we were in New York City, and I was supposed to take you on a date night, and somebody called, and it's probably some CEO or actor or somebody, and they were calling because they needed counseling that night. Some crisis had come on the stage.
Yeah.
And I told you, I said, babe, I think I need to counsel them tonight. And you said, no, you're going to call him and you're going to tell him it took him more than one night to get in this. And you said more than one night to get in this mess, and it's going to take him more than one night to get out of this mess.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what you were telling me was, don't let all these other things, right? Like
Yeah.
Jake says, that it's hard because everyone wants a piece of you and you don't have enough to go around. And I
Yeah.
wonder how many wives or husbands feel that things outside the home, you're
Yeah.
giving pieces here, pieces there,
Yeah.
pieces here, and you don't feel like you're really giving your spouse what
Yeah.
you need in order to win at home. And that's what
Yes.
we're talking about today.
Yeah.
We're talking about
Yeah.
winning the home game. We're not saying you can't work and be successful in corporate America. We're not saying you can't have all your fun and activities. We're just saying
Yeah.
don't neglect the home, because
Yeah.
if Bishop Jakes is saying
Yeah.
that we're not winning at home, if we don't win at home, man, we're in real trouble as
Yeah.
a society.
Yeah.
And you know what? I got one more.
Yeah.
And it actually is in the NFL world, in which we've been working
Yeah.
for the last 16 years, mentoring and coaching in marriage and being NFL chaplains. But I was reading an article by the Spun, and it talked about how the NFL insider, right, Adam Schefter, somewhat sacrifices his marriage in order to go to the pinnacle of success in his career. And by no means am I sort of making light
Right.
of what this man revealed actually on a YouTube channel.
Right,
So the
yeah.
article was referring to the YouTube interview.
Yeah.
And on that YouTube interview for the Mental Game podcast, Adam, he admitted that his relationship with his wife, Sherry, has changed over time, over the years, due to his work. And he said that while they used to go to dinners with other couples or groups, his work repeatedly forced him to leave dinners early or even cancel them abruptly.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. And I know, bro, I would be hung if I just said, hey, we're going out with our friends, but because of work,
Yeah.
I'm canceling everything.
Yeah.
You would probably say,
Yeah.
boy, come here. Let me talk to you.
Yeah, especially if I can be graceful in certain moments, but if it's a continual
Yeah,
thing.
you can be gracefully direct too. Now, don't act like you just little sweet Tundra sitting over there. You can
I
tell
will
me.
run out of patience
Oh,
with
you
that.
will.
Yeah,
You
I
will.
will run out of
Yeah.
patience with that, because really we get married because we want a partner. We want to do life with someone. That's the
Sure.
person we want by our side through the ups and downs. And if we're not spending time together, if we're not building a friendship, then what are we doing?
Yeah.
As a couple. I mean,
Sure.
if I'm feeling like I'm I'm single or independent
Right.
and I'm doing my life, you're doing your life. What is the point? What is the point of being married if you're not in
That's right.
relationship
That's right.
with your spouse?
Yeah. Now, for all of our listeners out there, please, again, don't think I'm picking at Adam whatsoever, because any one of us can fall into this. But what we're saying is, we're not talking about what people do. We're talking about God's best. We're talking about
Yes.
prioritizing your relationship and your marriage. We often say that we get married not to be in isolation, right? We get married because we want to be together
Right.
with someone.
Yeah.
That's we can go
Absolutely.
work, but we also have to
Yeah.
enjoy life together. We've got to go party together and go on
Yes.
vacation together.
Yeah.
And some of that has to be uninterrupted, right?
That's right.
Because if every time the phone rang, I remember you told me this.
Yeah.
You told me to finish my calls
Yeah.
in the garage, because I would come in the house
Yeah.
on the phone, busy pastor, and my kids would be ready at the door,
Yeah.
and I would just give them a Heisman like
Yeah.
that, like, just wait, I'm
Yeah.
so important, just wait on me. And one time you grabbed me by the collar. You was pretty rough with me that day, but I thank you for
I
it.
couldn't reach your collar. I probably grabbed you by your sleeve.
You probably did. You probably kicked me in my knee or something like that. But you said please don't come in the house anymore on your phone,
Yes.
because your kids are ready to
Yeah,
spend
they
time
deserve
with you.
that.
And that's what we're talking
They've been
about. We're
waiting
talking
for
about
that. Yeah.
presence. We're talking about when you come in that door, sometimes just cut the phone off, or leave it in a car, or finish emails after the kids go to bed, whatever it takes. Let me tell you something. There's nothing like pouring into the next generation. When they say, I want to love a relationship, a marriage like my mom and dad, that's one of the greatest things you can ever leave your kids.
Absolutely. So that another natural outcome that happens when we don't prioritize our spouse, it can lead to resentment and loneliness. And when one spouse feels overlooked
Sure.
or devalued, then that's when bitterness can creep in, and bitterness can just start to build a wall between you and your spouse.
Yeah,
I
that's key.
remember some close friends of ours. He was shocked when his wife, basically out of the blue, he felt, filed for divorce, and she was really done. And unbeknownst to him, she had been building some walls and just stacking these bricks up, and he didn't know. She never shared it.
Yeah.
But when that wall is up, literally it's no love there. There's no
Sure.
compassion there. I've been coaching couples where I can't believe those vows and that beautiful wedding and how much they loved each
Sure.
other. They can say the most hateful
Beautiful.
things to each
Yeah.
other when it gets to that point where that wall is between
Right.
them. So
Yeah.
we have to protect our marriage
Yeah.
from that bitterness and resentment and that loneliness.
Yeah, no, I like how you're
Yeah.
framing this, right? You're talking about, if we don't do this, there's some natural things that happen. And, as the one who gets our car maintenance, right?
Yes,
I
yes.
know this is that if I don't take the cars in for regular alignment,
Yes.
our cars often just go to the left or left,
Yeah.
or they go to the right,
Yes,
right? And so
yes.
so it's just a natural that we need to go and get it, because if we go towards those natural tendencies,
Yeah.
we're going to have wear in one area that's not supposed to be. And so in our marriage, let me say this to you. Let me say it like this. In marriage, alignment, when we naturally go in one direction, we just need to go back in the other direction, get alignment, maybe have somebody to look under the hood, maybe have somebody to run some things to, and just say, man, if I'm not prioritizing my
Yeah,
wife or
yeah.
my spouse, could be your husband, what type of trouble can I get myself in
Yeah.
where I'm going to have costly repairs in the future? So listen, all these scenarios from Uncle Mathis, right, to Adam Scheffner or Schefter, sorry,
Yes, Schefter.
and
Pete,
Bishop
Pastor
Jakes.
Pete.
All of these
Yeah.
scenarios could lead to another thing.
Yes.
And we don't like to talk about this, but it definitely happens, and that's temptation outside of the home, right? Because what we often say is, if you don't take care of the home, somebody else is waiting outside to take care of your home, right?
That's right.
And so we're really saying that when you cover
Yeah.
those intimate moments, whether it's dinner or whether it's date night,
Yeah.
when you prioritize that, then there's this thing that when you feed into me, I don't have time to look outside,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I got it all all home, right? I got like this buffet
Yeah.
of love, this high five, this affirmation, this celebration at
Yeah.
home, that I don't need to go outside and look for affirmation or celebration.
Yeah.
I look to your loving arms. And babe, I got to tell you, after 30 years of marriage,
Yeah.
it's my joy to come home to you.
Aw.
Like you're a best friend, you're a cheerleader.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, I wouldn't be the man that I am today without you being in my corner when I got home.
Amen. And that's why we want to help couples. We want them to have that home where they're not trying to get preoccupied with
Sure.
the kids or career, but they actually enjoy each other enough that they want to come home. Because sometimes maybe we're pouring into all these things because home life is not happy,
That's
right?
right.
So this is why we're passionate about helping couples. We want you to create the proper home life so you can both thrive in your home, your kids can thrive, and you can be an example and reflection of God's love that we have for one another, you know, and his reflection of his forgiveness. Like we want to support you and
Sure.
help you do that.
That's awesome. Yeah, what we realize is that, listen, your spouse isn't looking for perfection. They're looking for you to fight for connection. And that connection is shown when you prioritize your spouse and put them numero uno in your life.
Yeah. Until next time, we'll see you in the next episode.
Hey, we'll see you in the next episode. God bless you. Have a great week. Hey, thank you for tuning in to the Marriage Game Plan podcast, where we believe every couple can win with the right strategy.
If today's episode encouraged you, please follow or subscribe and share it with a friend, as it helps more couples find our podcast.
And if you haven't grabbed a copy of our brand new book called The Marriage Game Plan, it's about developing a winning strategy for marital success. Hey, go out and grab a copy at your online favorite bookstore today.
It is full of real talk, practical plays, and powerful tools to strengthen your marriage, which will help you win your home game.
As you go, stay tuned for our new coaching groups starting this fall.
And if this podcast is blessing your life, consider supporting the mission at journeyforlifenow.org.
Remember, we're building championship marriages.
One play at a time.
See you in the next episode.
See ya.